Roll top ridging on corrugated roofs. Why do we use it? Why is the roll top such a popular ridge? Well, besides from looking good because you've got a roll that matches the roll on the corrugated roof, it's also quite versatile, and you can use it on all different pitches from about 5 degrees because the corrugated roof is rated down to 5 degrees, all the way to even 40 degree pitch, because the roll top ridge allows you to flex the ridge to suit the angle of the roof. Quite neat, and that's why it's so popular. The other type of ridging that you can put on a corrugated roof is a simple ridge that's got a sharp peak, just like this roof. So on a corrugated roof like this, you can have something that is simple, like a fold for the peak, or with a roll top. Which one looks better? Now, a lot of people would say that the roll top looks better. It's more versatile. Now, for other roof profiles, like the trim deck roof, for instance, you would have a ridge with the simple folded peak, not a roll top. And there's various reasons for it. The main thing in that the roll top ridge is not made to suit the other profiles like the trim deck or the clip lock profile, because there's a feather that varies in size and the feather is cut to suit the pan of the different roof profiles. So is there anything about the roll top ridge that we don't know? Now, we're doing a re-roof at the moment. We are taking tiles off and putting a COLORBOND roof on. And this is quite a complicated roof because it's got dormers in it and it's quite a steep roof. And the pitches vary from 50 degrees, 55 degrees to about 40 degrees. And we're ordering materials for it. And I said to the guys, the ridge capping is going to struggle on a really steep pitched roof. What's the solution? And we did find out that you can actually order the roll top ridge with a non-standard internal angle. Traditionally, the roll top ridge comes with a 135 degree internal angle, and that suits most roof profiles because you can spread it or squeeze it. When it comes to a really steep pitch roof, you would really struggle to squeeze the standard roll top ridge to make it suit. So we've come up with a roll top ridge that's got a 90 degree internal angle rather than the standard. And this has got a much better chance of fitting a really steep roof. Now, one interesting thing to note about the standard roll top ridge is that a few years ago, they came up with the anti-scratch roll top ridge. And what it is that it's got an additional feather at the edge. And you can see the detail here. And what this additional feather does is that it flares out so that it is resting on top of the corrugated roof at a much relaxed angle, and it doesn't do a lot of scratching on the roof. So the anti-scratch roll top ridge is fairly new, and now everyone uses this particular roll top ridge. In every facet of life, there are things that you don't know that you don't know, and there's things that you know that you don't know. Right, we've got a ridging problem here. Roll top ridge, which is meeting two flashings at a typical Dutch gable. We've got an apron, we've got a barge. So how do you do the intersection? It's probably one of the hardest intersections to do because you've got a curved surface and you've got flat surfaces. So what's the solution? The easiest solution for a joint like this is to use a standard non-roll top ridge, because you can slip it underneath like that. You've got a sharp corner coming here, another sharp corner and they can all meet in the middle, and you need to just seal that, and it's quite an easy corner to actually make. But you end up with a standard ridge coming down on the ridge line. A simple solution, but if you were to say, what about a roll top ridge? How are you going to fit a roll top ridge in this situation? This is where it gets complicated. So, okay, this is what a standard ridge cap, a roll top ridge cap would look like at the intersection. Actually, I've actually done the wrong thing, because you can see that I've slid the ridge cap on top of the apron. And first principles says that you should always start downstream and work upstream. So this ridge should go in like that. You can imagine this detail. If you were to put the roll top ridge underneath, how do you get that flashing to marry into this flashing and still have a neat joint? Some people would cut that, right? So you cut the apron down here to meet that edge of the roll top, and then do the rivet line along there. And they would do something funny along there to do that. Most difficult part to waterproof is this little corner, because you're getting flat flashings that want to marry up against a curve. So how do you get a flat flashing to marry on a curve? And that area has always been an area of concern for me, because potentially we've seen a lot of leaks in this area because of just poor detailing. There's many ways to do this intersection. Some roofers just do that and put a lot of silicone in the intersection. Not quite the best solution. It works sometimes, but that's not what we're looking for, because it's a very difficult detail. So this is one of the things I've been trying to figure out. And some of you guys out there watching this video may have a good solution. Tell us. But what I've figured out is we have to put in a primary flashing. So standard flashing right there. Okay. Now, what you'll notice is that this flashing has got a tiny detail at the bottom end. Close up, you see that we've got a cut in there, and that's folded in two little wings on either side. And the intent is that you get water that comes down along the flashing, and it'll want to come down this way, because gravity always wants to attract the water vertically downward. So all the water will flow this way. In case some water comes down the ridge, it'll hit that. We'll put a blob of silicone right there. It'll hit that and it'll come out. Then it'll drain out onto the roof. On this side, it'll drain back on this side and then run away. So any water that comes here, and even if we leave this joint open, we won't get any water in the roof, because the water will flow off, run down here, and run straight down onto the roof, or it'll hit that and then be diverted back onto the roof again. So this becomes our primary flashing. Once this primary flashing has been put in, right, put in loose, you probably need to just pop rivet it in place right there. Put a little pop rivet in. That stays in place so it doesn't move. Right. And what you do now is we actually put this flashing in the incorrect way. And the reason is that the joint no longer becomes a primary waterproof joint, because you've got a primary flashing underneath that does the work. The ridge top now becomes a secondary non-critical flashing. So it can go in like that, like so. Right. So you can feather this, trim that, feather that, make that look pretty. You don't even have to seal that at all. You can leave it open. All right. So looking at it, you go, that's quite a neat joint. I wonder how it works, because the water will go in there and it'll cause a leak. But you can't really tell from looking at it, because there is a primary flashing underneath that does all the work. So this becomes just a cosmetic flashing. It looks a lot neater, and it takes away the question of how do you seal square flat flashing to a curve without using lots and lots of silicone that can break over time, and if it does crack over time, you'll get water get in there and then you get leakage.